Hello everyone. My name is Sola Kuti. I am a politician. I'm an entrepreneur as well. I was quite honored when Cynthia asked me to give a talk at an event in Port Harcourt, but unfortunately, I'm actually outside the country. I'm in the UK at the moment, so I was quite sad that I wouldn't be able to make it. But actually, I'm pleased that she asked me to do a video so that you guys could watch it. Let me first congratulate Cynthia on this very, very, very impressive event. I mean, we all know Cynthia is a star, and she's already going places. And I hope that in the future I'll have the opportunity to be physically present at many of her events to actually also help her inspire others. Um, so I decided that I'll talk maybe a little bit about myself. I think it's easier when I'm telling you true life stories rather than giving you textbook experiences. Uh, I think what I'd like to, speak about is finding yourself, as in discovering yourselves. I know many of us will go through life being guided by parents, friends, relatives, uh, being inspired by others who are successful, and that may channel our thoughts to directions that are not really in our comfort zone. It is important for us to learn to find ourselves, and that's what my message is going to be about today: finding yourself. I think everyone here, or everyone listening to me, is more or less a hidden treasure. There's something inside you which is the gift that God has put in you for you to be able to not only claim territory and advance a personal cause or enjoy success, but also to be able to give back to others, like Cynthia is doing today. Um, where we look at successful people all over the world. I'm sure if I asked everybody here, who wants to be like Bill Gates, I'm sure you would all raise up your hands. But essentially, Bill Gates is living his dreams and he's living his destiny, I think. I think we all need to discover ours as well. Uh, it's a difficult thing to do, uh, but it's actually something that I think everybody can do if they really dig deep, especially in times of difficulty. As Nigeria is going through a financial crunch at the moment, so it's time for us to think away from the usual and start looking at the unusual. It's times like this that you and I can find that special gift and be able to bring it to the fore and use it as a springboard to success. So for young people, I'd advise you uh, to find something. I always say that the really successful people, you always find them extremely successful doing what they like. So for instance, Bill Gates, as I mentioned earlier, is successful because he probably likes technology. He As a kid, he was probably fascinated by gadgets. Successful people like Beyonce, she's successful. Also, maybe because as a kid she sang a lot, and so it's a gift. There are other people who are creative, like actors. Maybe when they were younger, they were dramatic, or they talked a lot, or they learned to speak very quickly. So with every single human being, there's something that you know draws you immediately. You're conscious enough to be able to know your left from your right. So it's important as young people that as you are, that you find something that you like to do, and then you find out if you're good at it. You don't have to be like great at it, just be good at it. When you're good at it, then you can work hard, read up, train, uh, take lessons, whatever you need to do to now become great at it. Some people are born naturally talented, so they'll be great at what they discover is their gift. But most of us will have to work hard to build up to that greatness. Now, I think the catch is really to find something that you do enjoy doing. I think that's the first step. So for instance, like I said, if you're a singer, you're going to become a singer. You might just enjoy singing in the bathroom, and people might tell you a few times, "Oh, you have a really good voice. Or if you're a dancer, they might say, oh, you're always dancing when we go out to parties or whatever, and you dance really well, everybody's always commending you. Or you write stuff online and people are always telling you how good your writing is. Maybe then you just discover that you might become a writer. Or you give great presentations, not like the one I'm giving now because I'm a bit nervous as well. But you're really eloquent and well spoken, and you have deep thoughts and incisive thoughts. Maybe then you might become a public speaker or actor or something like that, or even a politician like me. I think it's important for the young people to always shy away from being teleguided by the older ones. I mean, I'm not saying disobey your parents or anything, but more or less what I'm saying is, if your parents want you to do something, you need to be able to find out if you will enjoy doing that thing. Don't be a rebel and say, no, I'm not going to do it, but at least try and explain to them that you prefer to do something else. And education is pretty important, so I would not even advise anybody to drop out of school. In fact, I'd say as much as you can, keep on educating yourself and getting better. And so when you discover what it is that you like doing, find out if you can actually make money out of it. Because there's nothing more pleasurable in the world than doing something you enjoy, something that you love, and then getting paid to do it. Because you're going to do it for free anyway. So it's a bonus when you get paid to do it. I also think that one of the things that young people should learn is discipline. I mean, these days I see a lot of young people, even at university level, with phones that cost, 100,000, clothes, shoes, bags, accessories, things like that, designer belts for the guys, whatever. I think, when you consider some of the success stories around us, especially in Nigeria, the person who fried a car at the roadside and started a business in 1,000, and today they're worth a few millions. The guy who makes the plantain chips, who decided to package it and start selling on the road, and today he's a multimillionaire from doing that. You realize that your 100,000 that you spent on a belt or a phone is actually enough money to start something really good. For the people who have entrepreneurship skills, some people will just create stuff. Some people have great ideas, but they would not have the wherewithal or the capacity to be able to turn those ideas into real products or services. I think it's also important to work in partnership. That's something that Nigeria has lacked a lot. You find everybody doing the same thing in different ways, but you see that a combination of two of those things might actually become the product. And also the copycat syndrome. You find out, oh, this person made money from playing football, so everybody wants to play football. Or Davido made 20 million from singing in one concert, everybody starts singing. We've got to move away from that and find out if you're actually better as, for instance, a music producer or a movie director or something. It's if you're inclined to entertainment, there's so many sectors. There's also so many sectors that, and don't forget that even with singing, it was developed by somebody started singing and was getting 10,000 and it wasn't attractive, and somebody else came and got 20,000 and so on and so forth, until I think a time when I remember Charlie Boy Oputa, the great Charlie Boy, stood on his feet and insisted that Nigerian artists would be treated with dignity, and that is when the boom started for them. And they would not be regarded as local artists and then some as international. That they must get paid, a commensurate value as well, and that is when that revolution started. Even the same thing with the movie industry. I mean, I remember when the likes of Kenya started acting. I'm sure some of their roles were probably free as well, because the people couldn't afford to pay them. But they paid their dues. They've also fought, to be recognized. And I think that you should understand that everybody has a journey. They have, they might have paved the way for, obviously, the young actor in the room listening to this. They might have paved the way for you, but you must remember that your life is a journey as well, and your journey is probably going to be a struggle. to get recognized, to be good at what you do, or like I said, great at what you do. And you must be ready to put in the work, and work from start to finish in order to be able to achieve your dreams. But don't ever give up. I think it's important for you to be focused in whatever you do as well. It, you will start small and grow big. I always advise, most entrepreneurs who come to me say, "Oh, I have this big idea. I need 20 million." I say, "Well, actually, what if we gave you 100,000 and you started with that? Let's see how you can turn that over and build it to maybe a million, over a few months or a few years, and then we can see the viability of your business." Because what most people don't realize is that you might have a great business idea, but without the proper ingredients coming together to actually, make the idea into a wholesome project, you find that you're most likely to fail. You essentially start a business with, so somebody give you 20 million. You wonder why some people say, "Oh, if I had that opportunity," someone to give them 20 million, and in 8, 10, 12 months, their business is bust. And you think, "Oh, but you started a business with, 1 million, and or maybe the same business, in fact, with 1 million, and you're still in business." Well, I tell you something, if you got that 20 million, you'll probably be bust as well. I think the important thing is to realize that it's good to grow in a business, because also, when you start something, you need to garner some experience. You need to make some mistakes, and you can make a mistake with 10,000 and get away with it, or 20,000. But if you make a mistake with 20 million, that might be the end of your business. So if you make a mistake with 10,000 and you get burnt, 10,000, you can probably come to me and say, "I need another 10,000. This happened." Okay, well, you've learned your lessons. Here's another 20 or 30,000. Go ahead and try again. But if you do that with 20 million and it goes bust, it's a bit more difficult for you to recover from something like that. The business terrain here is very tough. I'm not going to, tell you guys, any stories and make it seem like it's going to be easy. But I advise that as young people, especially now that probably most of you are still in school, you begin to focus on things that you think that you realize every business that has succeeded is built out of a need. So, for instance, if at some point somebody else had thought, "Oh, well, don't have clean water in Nigeria, I'm going to start making pure water or bottled water," and the first person that did that is probably richer than the rest of them that are doing it today. But also, the first person that did it may also have gone out of business, and somebody else may have come later on to say, "This guy went out of business, but why did he go out of business? Okay, I'm going to try as well." And he may have been the one that made the money from the business. So it also depends sometimes, I wouldn't say on luck, but maybe on preparation and planning. And so, as young people now, you need to start to think about the things around you and start to, fulfill some needs. So even within your school premise, maybe you see somebody sells snacks, but the snacks are poor, and you're good at making snacks, or you can bake. Maybe you should start baking stuff. That some people are always commenting you that you have a nice style in clothes. Yeah, maybe you should start becoming like a stylist. Maybe not a tailor or designer, but maybe you should start saying to people, "Okay, if you pay me 1,000 naira, I'll go shopping with you, and then choose your clothes for you and make sure that they fit well." And if that person successfully does that for one person, then that person will tell another person, "Oh, it was so and so who helped me achieve this," and they would then say, "But I had to pay her," and they would obviously be willing to pay. So you can build a business out of anything. It doesn't have to be anything serious. It doesn't have to be like you want to be like Bill Gates in particular. There are people that probably will be like Bill Gates among you, but there are also people that will be like Beyonce, people that will be like Kate Henshaw, or whoever else, or Desmond Elliott, or whoever else there is in the sector that's doing well today. I want to just urge you to just spend like a lot of your spare time reading as well. It's very important to read. I'm not talking about serious reading. I don't like to read, but there are a lot of books that inspired me. I've read, for instance, Long Walk to Freedom, Nelson Mandela's story, My Life by Bill Clinton. I think, people's journeys are actually the best way to learn, because they're telling you practical experience. And so if you find a book that is, if you don't like to read too much, find, the small books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Just read a lot, as much, read magazines, read online, read stories about businesses, new ideas, innovations, and be a pioneer. A pioneer is always the one that with the most likely possibility